Hello, everybody, and welcome to the channel. I'm Mark,
And I'm Rob.
and today we're going to talk about two more record-setting ratings by Caitlin Clark in the WNBA playoffs. And hey, if you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, please do so with the notification bell when you do. So in game one of the playoffs, Caitlin Clark drew 1.81 million, I think it was. And that was on Sunday against NFL football, who everybody knows is the biggest draw in sports. The other games, Rob, none of them got more than 468,000. So she was four times what they got. And the three of them together were all less than what she got, obviously, because they were all less than 500,000. So she outdrew them by a lot. And in fact, one of them, so one of them had it. She was a lead in for one of the games because her game was second. So then on Wednesday night in the second game, she set a record for highest game by cable on cable. She got 2.54 million views, the largest audience ever on cable and 10th largest overall. And it's the only one that was higher than that was the WNBA All-Star game in terms of the WNBA.
Mm.
So the WNBA has never had a higher rated game that wasn't an All-Star game over Caitlin Clark's game when they got eliminated. Imagine what the ratings would have been on Friday night if they had won that.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that would have been cool.
So the game after that did well, Rob, but let's see how they do after they don't get the lead in from Caitlin Clark, because that was a game after that.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
But she's setting all sorts of records. Every time she has a game, she sets another record. So I could go over it all and say how many records she set, but we've gone over all that. She set all sorts of records for all the networks. And this is the most ratings they've gotten since the first couple of years of the league. And like 22 out of 26 were because of Caitlin Clark. And in fact, one was also because of the All-Star game too. And she was in that. So those are the ones that got over 1 million views. So she's setting all sorts of records, and there's going to be no end in sight. Like, imagine, Rob, if it, like game 3, but imagine if she got farther along in the playoffs.
Oh my gosh.
Semifinals, finals.
The finals? The finals? Oh.
She's never won a championship, at least in high school or in college. She's won 3 gold medals with the under 9 and 17 teams, but she never won a championship. So people will be tuning in to see if she can do it and when she'll do it. So those ratings will be really through the roof, and there'll be a lot of network games for that, Rob, as opposed to just cable.
Oh, yeah.
So you can think whatever you want in terms of, oh, the league was growing all along, they're popular. They weren't. Caitlin Clark is blowing the roof off the ratings, with the exception of the first year or two in the league, and then it kind of like died off after that. In terms of attendance, the attendance went up 154%, and most of it was because of Caitlin Clark. Of course, Indiana Fever increased the most. They also had the most attendance. They had the most away attendance, and most of it was because of Caitlin Clark. Mm-hmm. It was really the year they got the most since the beginning. Rob, so they have this narrative that this league was growing all along, and they just needed, it was gonna get there eventually. So I looked up the stats for all the years that they had in terms of total attendance to the games. Mm-hmm. And in the total attendance for the games, last year they had like 1,500,000 fans. That was the same as before the pandemic. So there was a slight increase, for the last couple of years, but that was just to get back up to the pre-pandemic level. So what they're telling you is false, that they were getting more and more popular every year. They're lying to you about that. And it's clear because I got the stats right in front of me. Mm-hmm. And the attendance actually peaked in terms of total number of people that watch games. It peaked in 2002 is when they had their most attendance. So it didn't get popular the last couple of years. It's actually less popular than it used to be. And again, the amount of fans they got last year was the same as before the pandemic. They just got back up to that level. So there was absolutely no growth whatsoever, and it was less than it used to be in 2022. So the league was not dying, but it was basically the same as it had been for like the last 15 years. And 1,500,000 per year is what they were basically averaging.
Right.
So they're lying to you. ESPN is lying to you, just so you know.
Yeah. I mean, this is very obvious, Mark. I mean, and the whole thing, the good thing I liked about that is that she was bringing money in to the arenas that normally, like going to Atlanta, they wouldn't have a sold out arena. They wouldn't move it to the NBA arena. Same thing with Washington. They were playing in a $6,000 capacity arena, and they moved it to the Capital One when they got the highest, over 20,000. So what a profit maker that was for them.
Right. Caitlin Clark is the most popular athlete in the country right now. It's the first time in American history that, other than a week or two after the Olympics, that a female is the most popular athlete in the country. And it's obvious, although the WNBA wants to pretend it's all about them, it's not. The ratings show who's the most popular by a large margin. It's not Angel Reese. It's Caitlin Clark. It's not A'ja Wilson. They have this narrative. They want to push A'ja Wilson on people, and it's not going to work. If people find her exciting to watch, they'll watch her.
Mm-hmm.
If they don't, they won't. It doesn't matter whether she's the MVP. It doesn't matter whether you gave her the MVP in week 1 or if she was unanimous. It doesn't matter. That's not the way it works. It works on who the people want to watch. And the fans have spoken.
Yeah.
So Caitlin Clark, everything about her is through the roof in terms of TV ratings and attendance. And the league has been trying to minimize this since week 1. Why? I'm not exactly sure. We do know that that the league doesn't want her to give much credit to her because she already gets too much attention and too much money. But they should be promoting her more, because as the television ratings go up for her games and the league becomes more popular because of her, the league will become more popular and they'll make more money. But they haven't accepted that. They want to be paid more money without the league becoming more popular because of Caitlin Clark, which isn't going to happen. Because it would have happened before if it was going to happen.
Which is crazy. Which is crazy logic. Which is illogical. Which doesn't make sense.
Right. So I'm giving you the ratings and I'm giving you the attendance, and it's almost all about Caitlin Clark. So
anybody who says that, anybody who tries to deny that, just look him in the eye and just look at him like, you crazy? You crazy?
Right. And it will be interesting to see what the ratings are now that Caitlin Clark's out of the playoffs and how they compare, say, with last year. Because last year, obviously, Caitlin Clark wasn't in the playoffs. So we'll see how popular they are without Caitlin Clark. We'll see. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure it'll be higher than last year because the league was more popular this year, mostly because of Caitlin Clark. But we'll see what the ratings are, and we'll compare them to last year and see if their popularity went up and how much. So it'll be interesting to see, Rob.
Yeah. Really.
Anyways, if you think they're only going to be a little bit more popular, subscribe to your channel. If you think they're not going to be any more popular, subscribe to your channel. If you think they're going to be way more popular, subscribe to your channel. If you like football, subscribe to your channel. If you like Caitlin Clark, subscribe to your channel. Just subscribe.
Yeah.
And guess what? We're going to go live at 6 to 8 Eastern time, except for major holidays on Mondays. Join us for that. We're going to talk about NFL football games and college football that weekend. Big game this weekend, Georgia and Alabama. So 2 of the very best teams in the country. So we'll be talking about that, and a big Buffalo-Baltimore matchup. We're going to go live for that too. So join us for that. That's on Sunday night at 8:20. And if you want to donate to this channel, you can with super chats and super things down below. There's a link to PayPal. And if you like this video, hit the like button and let us know what you feel about this topic down below in the comments. And we'll see you in the next video.
Peace out.